What's up, electronic dance music producers? There's a big problem with producers spending time on YouTube. The things they're searching, instead of helping them in a lot of cases, are pushing them back in terms of skill set. And I'm going to walk you through a new way of looking at the thinking and the mindset behind this. So I'm going to do this video a bit different. It's not going to be in the DAW. It's not going to be just me talking. It is going to be me talking, but there's more than just my face this time around. This is the trends tab in my own account. Basically, just telling me what people are searching for in general. And I want to start commenting on the value of and the good and the bad of these types of searches. This is what people are searching. So mixing with Ableton stock plugins. This actually is a decent thing to search. The mixing aspect a bit less. Like, it's okay to learn mixing online. But a lot of people think that their issues aren't mixing, but in reality, they're in production. But let's put that aside for a second. At least here, we're looking at people that are wanting to learn the native plugins, for example, in Ableton better, instead of always going to that new hot plugin that's being marketed super sexy, and they want to learn, they want to buy it, thinking that if I buy that plugin, my mixes are going to sound better. So right off the bat, this is a decent search. So if you're searching something like this, that's great, because you are at least learning to use your stock plugins better. And there's so much to learn in your stock plugins with Ableton and with other DAWs as well. The second search term, that's trending, right? Should you mix while producing? This is also good, but there's different approaches to getting a proper answer on this. The answer is yes and no, depending on the stage that you're at when you're producing electronic dance music. Now, a purely mixing engineer might look at this and say, no, don't mix while you're producing. But in electronic music and electronic dance music, we're producers and mixing engineers at the same time. So there's a lot I could say about this. I just want to point to the fact that searching something like this could give you different answers, some good, some bad, some confusing. One thing that you need to know, there's stages in production. Right? So if you're at a point where you don't know much about mixing, learning a small bit of mixing to get an idea of what it is fine. Most importantly, always remind yourself, tell yourself, odds are my issues in my track are in the way I'm processing information in production. If my production was better, my mix would be better, right? So as advanced producers, if you are an advanced producer, you would know that you often do mix while you're producing. But if you're not an advanced producer, I don't want you to deal with this too early in your production journey. Learn the fundamentals at a very high level first, and then worry about the mixing aspects. And what are the three fundamentals? Composition, sound design, storytelling. None of these are mix related, right? So once you start focusing your limited energy on getting composition, sound design, storytelling at a much higher level, then learn mixing. Then worry about if you should be mixing at the same time as you're producing, which is a more of an advanced way of approaching things. Now, a lot of non-advanced producers do this, right? It doesn't mean that usually they prematurely mix because they don't know what else to fix in production. That's the main issue that happens. So the third trending thing that producers search for, music theory for electronic music producers. This is a great search term. Why do I say this? If you're searching stuff like this, that's great. Because if you produce electronic music and you want to learn music theory to be able to become a bit more fluent in composition, music theory falls under composition. Composition is a production fundamental, right? So if you learn music theory, it will help you out. Some people disagree with music theory because they think of their favorite producer who doesn't know any music theory and they're famous, blah, blah, blah. Whatever that story, there's so much detail that we don't know in people's lives. So what's important, though, is the fact that if you do know some music theory, you know what scale you're in, you know how to build scales, you know how to build chords around it, you will move faster in your production. It's like any other skill set. Like, for example, if you want to, here's a metaphor, okay? If you want to hang a painting or you want to do some level of light construction in your house, you might have a toolbox with all types of tools and you're trying which one fits, which one works, versus having a proper tool set that's going to allow you to confidently put in the right pieces, make the hole you're going to make, hang what you want to hang. I'm sharing this to you because I recently had that experience because we bought a condo and I went from like being a tenant to a homeowner or a condo owner, and like I started buying proper tools, and those proper tools help me work faster. Why am I telling you this? Music theory is the same way. If you know music theory, it speeds up your production process. This is a great search term, 100%. If you are struggling with music theory, research this, understand music theory for electronic music production. Now, music theory applies globally, but understanding it, how we can use it for electronic music could be a very useful term for you. Mixing and mastering house music. Learn how to produce first. Like, very few people should be searching this unless they're just curious. If you're really looking to get amazing in mixing and mastering, first ask yourself, how amazing are my productions? Because if your productions are amazing, there's not much mixing and mastering to do. There is, obviously, there's a process that you would apply to make the track sound great. And I'm not downplaying like the need of mixing and mastering engineers in the industry. I'm not. So if you're a mixing and mastering engineer, don't get all like too excited. But this is a message here. A lot of these people that follow me are music producers, electronic dance music producers in a lot of cases. Focus less on these type of search terms. Focus more on understanding composition, sound design, and storytelling, and the mindset behind producing proper music. Those are better search terms. How to make melodic deep house. This is a very introductory search term. So if you maybe have been producing for a few years, or you've never produced melodic deep house and you want to get ideas of how to, this could be decent. A lot of times this type of content is going to go everywhere from, in majority, you're going to get a lot of tactical stuff. And the biggest issue I have with tactical information is it's just going to apply for melodic deep house most probably. So while you might understand melodic deep house a bit better, and that's a great thing, if you're not learning from the right person and you learn tactical knowledge is not going to help you apply the knowledge in elsewhere. For example, if you want to move on and do tech house, what you're learning in this video most probably is not going to apply. Not because it's genre specific, because when people teach genre specific stuff, they don't teach fundamentals, they teach tactical knowledge. And tactical knowledge cannot be passed on to other subgenres very comfortably. A lot of times it applies in a very specific situation because we don't understand the why behind what we're doing. Therefore, it doesn't stick with us. Like I remember like when I was in like high school and then college, university, I've done a lot of math. And my dad's great in math. He's an engineer, and he always told me, he goes, Vardy, when you're learning formulas, don't learn the formulas by heart. Try to break them down and understand the pieces of what each part of the formula means. And once you understand that, you will never need to learn any formula by heart because you understand the why and the meaning behind it. Same concept. Let's understand the why and the meaning behind what we're doing. Tactical knowledge, turn this knob, do this, do that, very specific to, let's say, a plugin, doesn't teach you that, right? So be careful what you're learning. We've had so many producers come to us with like a series of thinking processes that are not conducive for them to make professional sounding music. So we got to re-educate them a lot. It's a big issue. This is one of the worst searches in the world. I want to throw up. Best plugins for mixing and mastering. What does that even mean? This is just like, if I'm making, let's say, plugins and I want to market plugins, yeah, I'll kind of piggyback on this. Like best plugins for you could mix amazing music with any plugin. Give me a full track, I'll mix and master it on Ableton. Might be 99% there, but no one's going to tell the difference. It's going to be great. Your issue is not the best plugin. It's more understanding the concepts and the fundamentals of mixing and mastering. That's more important. In reality, understanding the fundamentals of production is more important because fundamentals of production dictate pretty much everything in your track. The mixing and the mastering is just to give the shine and the cleanness of the track. But a lot of that is done in production. So the best plugins, this is the worst search term ever. If you're searching this, it's just know that it's purely entertainment with a dose of information about what new plugins coming out. And it doesn't really matter. And don't tell me like Soothe saved your life or some AI plugin saved your life because none of that shit really matters if you're not producing good sounding music and if you don't have good fundamental understanding of what mixing really is. You could do mixing and mastering with a lot of different plugins. It could be from analog gear to all types of digital, whether it's ozone you want to use FAP filter and different modules or waves, does not matter. You could write great sounding music and you could get them to sound industry standard without whatever these best plugins are. So this is more of an entertainment, more of a reason for you to spend money during the holidays because of Black Friday or whatever. How to master house music on Ableton. This is kind of nice. I mean, assuming mastering is what you need to be focusing on. Assuming your fundamentals are great, you know how to mix, and you want to get to know what mastering is, and you want to really understand that at a better level. The house aspect is a bit odd in the sense that, yes, you might be producing house music, but how about mastering just dance music? It's all the same. Whether you master a deep house track or a techno track, it's pretty much the same concept. Yes, you might have mastering engineers that only do techno, and they a bit better than someone that does deep whatever. Most dance music engineers mix all types of dance music. How do I know this? Because I've mixed so much music, mixed and mastered so much music for a living, and a lot of the music, most of the music, if not all of the music, was in the dance realm. What you do for a tech house track and a deep house track is all the same. The cool thing is the Ableton aspect here indicates that someone potentially wants to use stock plugins. That would make the search good. But overall, like, the genre is not necessary. And I'm highlighting these things so because from each one of them, there's a mindset thinking that you're gonna take home with you and hopefully search for better things. Music production course, Ableton. Yeah, this seems like it's more of a beginner type of term, and that's okay. You're looking to learn just music production concepts at a basic level in a more organized fashion course in Ableton, because most probably you use Ableton as a DAW, and that's cool. How to make heavy dubstep Ableton. I don't specialize in bass music. While I've helped bass music producers, we help hybrid producers that do bass and four on the floor, like techno, house, trance, combination of these genres. We do well, but when someone comes to us, they're only doing dubstep or drum and bass. While our knowledge really helps them out, bass is a bit of a different category than house and techno, right? We could talk a lot about that and the history and how they've come about, but that's not important. What I'm getting at is like how to make heavy dubstep. Again, you're learning a specific genre of music. That's okay. You're going to learn tactical stuff. Be careful with that. And tactics, in essence, again, might apply for a specific situation, but you're missing the why behind the tactic, the thinking, the mindset behind it for you to make a better decision. FL Studio Producer Edition plugins. Okay, looking to learn native plugins a bit better. That's okay. Native plugins in FL Studio. That's a good search. This is the worst search. Sorry, I have to go back to it. Best plugins for mixing and mastering. This is like the worst search you could ever do. I've done it. I'm not like making fun of everyone. I've done these search when I was coming up and I was learning early on. We didn't have as many YouTube videos back then as we do now, but like this is a bad search. Music production challenges. It depends on what head frame producers are when they're searching this. Like, what are some of the issues that producers face? Are they searching this to see if they relate to it? Maybe I would have to see what comes out when this is searched. Ableton sound design tricks. When I hear tricks or tips, like, again, it's tactical stuff. It doesn't help you think better. It doesn't help you. Like, what does that mean, sound design tricks? There's 8 million things you could do in sound design. You're going to learn, 1 to 10 new things out of the 8 million? Maybe. But again, it's more important for you as a producer to understand, for example, like the difference between what macro and micro sound design is. When do we use micro sound design and how to use micro sound design? And when do we use macro sound design and how to use it in an electronic dance track? So again, the Ableton sound design trick, I feel like it might be producers that are looking for how different tools work. That's okay, but the tricks aspect of it shows me that it's tactical. So we got to be careful about tactical knowledge, because tactical knowledge, while it has the sense of us improving and learning new things, a lot of times we miss the why and the message of why this is done this way. So when the environment, the track changes and you're dealing with different challenges, you apply the same thing, copy paste, and it doesn't work anymore because you haven't really understood the meaning behind what you're doing. So I want to leave you guys here. Hope that there was some mindset knowledge here throughout the thinking here, so you guys could search better content. Also, focus on the right things. Instead of focusing on the best plugins, you're focusing on fundamentals of production. This would be time better spent for you, and it'll be knowledge that's going to be better absorbed and longer lasting in your production journey. Hope this was helpful. We specialize in a lot of mindset. When you say mindset, is the quality of decisions that you make in production, which ultimately makes your time in the studio more productive, understanding what you're doing. We do a lot of this in our mentorship. This might be what you need right now, or you might be needing something else. If you want to have a conversation for us to kind of assess your situation exactly and develop a plan for you, if you feel ready to get help, let's book in a call. There's a link at the bottom, and then we'll chat. Love you all. See you next time.